guys, my name is Anna, you're watching simcue, and without further ado, let's get into this video. We're building a base game museum, and I think for once I actually don't have any specific reference, and maybe that will come back to bite me in the butt, but there are a few things that I want to try out, because a lot of classic museums have like big columns out front, like the building itself is basically a museum. But I was thinking with this lot, we could do something where it's like all the way around, and then we have a really nice courtyard as well. Basically, not that it's gonna look like this, right? But we kind of wanted to wrap all the way around, and then I'm thinking like a bigger entrance area down here. Now, one thing that I did test was just what kind of archways we have. So I think these hallways are going to be 5 wide, and then I don't really know exactly how long, but if we just do it like that, because I really want to use these ones. I think they can be really gorgeous in here. So if we start with something like that, and then another thing that I definitely wanted as well is to see if we can make these small rounded areas, because I've definitely been to museums. I did also just search for museum references, but where they have these like rounded cutouts for sculptures, and that is just kind of incredible. So how far in? Maybe if we just try with that, and then we add this one here, and then we do something similar. Like, wouldn't that just look kind of good? And then the idea is, as I mentioned, to have like sculptures in here of some sort. I think that would be awesome. We definitely need to move this. No problemo, I think. What if it's only, oh, so like that, right? What if we did it like that? And then that's the beginning of the next hallway. Just gonna scooch this a little bit, but I don't want to scooch it too much because I also want to have space for a nice entrance. Oh, I do want this up on a platform though. Probably a pretty tall platform actually. I think that could be really cool. Then for the entrance, how grand do we want to go? I'm a little bit unsure. What if we did 2 extra? So this is now 9 long, 3, 9. That should be a square, right? Upstairs, should we maybe do something like that? I don't know. What if we first of all made this taller as well, and then we did something like that, and then let's do the stairs again, just like that, and maybe something like that. I think if we like custom place some things, we can probably help that like rounded edge. We actually could have the archways down here. Because what if we did something like that? And then for now, let's just do something like that. That work, I guess. And then we technically have the same thing, right? So we want this probably right on the edge to give us as much space as possible. And then we have a slightly shorter hallway there, and then we're also going to have a hallway down here, just like so. How much courtyard does that actually give us? I mean, it's all right. And then this needs to be just a little bit longer right there. And then I think for symmetry, I do want something like that, but then it should probably go inwards, because then we can have, if we do it like that, let's not do that. Hello? Okay. Why does that look weird? It just gave me a different dimension. We just need to remove the floor. What if we do it like so? Why does it do that? I mean, surely we can have like an open space in here. So, okay, that fixed it. That's good. So then here we could, do we want it to also match in this side so that technically this is just like that probably? Ooh, that worked, and it didn't mess up this. That's very nice. Well, that's annoying. I was kind of hoping we could have a little bit of a flare. Ooh, that's a bummer. So just regular like that. Maybe that's just it. Or we could try and make this even narrower. So like that. I think that looks better from out here, but I don't really know if I like it from in here, because then again I kind of want the symmetry. Actually, maybe it's all right. And then what if we did the same thing over here? I can kind of see that for us. Now, another thing that I was very much hoping would work out really nicely was this specific kind of roof. And then like that, and then all the way to that point. And then we actually want to just completely round it. Yes. Would it be too bad if we did it like that and then make it a little bit lower? Because the idea is that we're going to have glass. I've definitely seen that on some museums that has this like glass part. We do half walls on rounded walls, I guess is what I'm asking. I don't think we can. That is maybe a little problematic. I think we can do the fence. We can do the fence. Okay, so maybe fencing is the right call. Ooh. maybe a taller fence would be better. I actually think that looks kind of good. So I think we want this roof over here as well. Of course, just a little bit shorter, like so. Do we also want it here? Because my idea for this hallway, considering it's a museum, we don't want too many windows because we need the walls. So that's also why I want to add the glass roof. But I was thinking for this area to actually make it full on glass. Ooh, maybe we should actually use the glass wall for this. So this one, I love that for us. For once, the glass walls actually look really good, I think. Do we want roofing on our squares, or do we just want to continue like this? I mean, this looks pretty good. I'm actually very happy with this fence. That works really well for us. I think I'm happy with the shape. I think that looks pretty good. And I do like to have all of the glass for this view. Like, that's amazing, right? Maybe I do need to fix the entrance. My brain is thinking, we probably want it in here, right? And then like that, but then also like that. Yes, that looks museum-like, maybe a little bit taller. And then what do we do about this? Do we just do like half walls? Do we just do like that? Make small towers, I guess. Not a fan. Do we have a whole lot of other options? Give me something good. Ugh, how long is that video? Maybe columns, something like that. I think these are probably the best. I'm not really in love with this. I think maybe it was a mistake to not have a clear reference. That just looks dumb. Maybe if we actually have space for a freeze. Oh my god. I mean, that totally doesn't work because of the archways, but wow. But we could have this one. That actually looks kind of nice. Because if we did that, then it's not quite as bad that we have the double column. But it looks weird that they just that there's nothing on top of that. So I did a few things off camera just because I was getting so indecisive. So we have the wallpaper down now, and I think everything somewhat comes together. I also added in some windows here on the side where I was happy to find these that come in like 2 colors. And then here on top, because I wanted a bit more detail, which is something I generally struggle with the base game, I added the ones that we also have on the roof. And I actually quite like that. What I'm thinking is, what if we alt place it? It can kind of stand here on the edge. So what if we did that and then we also scale him? 1.5 maybe? 1.4, 1.3. I think that's good. 1.35. I actually like that. I don't mind that we lose the little, what is it, like a little feather. Gosh, I forgot the word for feather. So then what if we also continue here? They can probably only be this close together if we scale them up. Let's just try and place 2 here. And then these ones, let's scale those. So he was 1.35. So maybe these could just be 1.2. What do we think? I kind of like it. Maybe we should actually do one more and then scale it down. How does that look? I kind of like that. I was thinking for the outside, this build, it might actually make sense to have like marble. I guess the white matches better. Like, wouldn't that be kind of nice for a build like this to have marble flooring? But then again, do we want marble all of the rooms? Because everything is open, right? What I'm thinking is, what if we did that, but then we did a different color? I actually kind of like that because I think the black will be too dark. I mean, it could work, but I think we want to stick with this like light pattern we got going on. What do I want to do here? Because I was kind of hoping to also have some wooden flooring. I just feel like with a lot of paintings, a lot of museums I've been to, there's just wooden flooring. So maybe we could have that for those 3 rooms. Then maybe we can continue the marble here. Would that make sense? Maybe. It's a greenhouse though. Would we instead want more of a indoor stone kind of thing? I mean, I normally wouldn't. Sometimes desperate times ask for desperate solutions. Oh, what about this? That's very greenhouse-like. Ah, because it's symmetrical there. But then this part is pulled in, and this is pulled in even further. Yeah, that actually does bother me. Now that I really think about it, that actually bothers me quite a lot. Okay, what if these windows were actually out here and then this was actually there? That works better. It's still a little weird. Just kind of stuck this way. There isn't really that much more we can do. The thing is, I want these to be raised, but I'm also, how important for me is it that it is the rounded archway? Because I don't think we have anything in the smaller version. Oh, we do have this. Oh, that could work. And I was thinking, just to add a bit more interest, that what if on the other side we also made some small cutouts right there? Oh my gosh, right there. Thank you. And then here. Because then we're not even going to make a hole in this wall, I think. I think we're just going to try and go in with the windows. Are we going with something like this? Would that be big enough? Potentially. What if we just raise this platform? One more. Sorry, the angles are a little difficult. See, wouldn't that be cool? Because then we could just place an item right on the floor, but it looks like this nice cutout. I think that could be pretty cool. We probably actually want an even darker color in here because you really want to be able to see the items. I think this dark blue could really work in our favor here. Awesome. Okay, now I think we just want to get into decorations because technically this shouldn't take too long is what I would like to say and believe in, but I could be very wrong. So I think I just kind of want a hallway of sculptures. I've definitely seen that at museums and I do think that works really well. The problem is we don't have that many sculptures because technically I would just like different sculptures of people. That's usually what we have, but we actually only really have these 4. Then we have this guy with a funny hat. We of course have Princess Cordelia. We definitely want to add her. Then we could have this one maybe in one of these boxes. Probably this as well. Do we want Baby Yoda on display? I don't know. Oh, we could have this. I mean, it's a stolen necklace, but here it just looks like an actual necklace in a case. Maybe the llama. Actually, I could see that for us. I know that sounds weird, but sometimes art is weird. You don't have to love it for it to be art. That's the beauty of it. Let's do the sculptures. I think this one, this little lady here, she can probably fit in here. Oh my gosh, the angles. She fits gorgeously in there. And then does this guy fit? He doesn't look too tall. He actually does fit. Well, then I think I'd rather use this area for these ones because we could then have the different colors and take up some space with that. Oh, do we want to go so it's almost like bronze, silver, gold? Okay, sure. Then we have this guy here. Maybe he can also be like in between here. Does he change color? Oh, he changed his hat. I just don't really like that. I don't think I want more of him just because of that. Then let's get the ship in one of these. Right? That looks nice, I think. Let's also get maybe the pig, maybe our little pig here. We want some color. I do like the red. What about all of the small ones? Do we have any, like in the base game, do we have any kind of display? No. Great. Okay, for now, let's just hang it up. Let's just see what goes in here. Can this... Oh, this one can fit. Okay, this might be our savior. These ones don't fit. This one fit. Is it because it's a debug item? What about this one? Oh, these ones fit. I actually think that's a little too tight. I think I'd rather just have 2 of them. And then let's add the last 2 right there. Oh, do these also go on pedestals? Oh, they do. No, they don't. Do these go on anything? I think these could be kind of cute raised up on this one. Yes, and probably for our little sad clown as well. So now it's just a question of where do we want everything placed? Do you think that these look the best in this area? And I definitely like this one. I think this is good. And I definitely also like this one. Bit unsure about the other ones. And this one can go... Oh, I guess technically all 3 of them could fit down here like so. I want this one over here. That looks pretty nice, right? I think I'm all right with that. I think I'll come back and figure out the light later because we obviously can't have these lights because right now they are in the ceiling, which is non-existing, but we will work on that later. I know I've just chosen the wallpaper color, but I'm thinking that these would look the best in quite a dark room. So let me just come back. So maybe we then want to go like fully... I definitely think they will look better on this kind of wall. I think that could work. I think this is a great spot because then from here as well... Oh, they're not centered. That's right. That is going to bug me quite a bit. Then what about here? Because then it's not quite as bad that it's not centered on this wall, but now it's centered in front of this archway. That's actually pretty nice. And then I guess we could have these ones over here maybe. I don't want them too high. Now I obviously don't otherwise want to use this one, but I do want to check if they are watching. I think we honestly want it just a tiny bit lower like that. Do we have any other... Do we have like actual paintings just from the regular catalog that could match these? What do we have? What is this? Is that a sheep on a stone? Is that it? That's what's in the base game catalog? Okay, well, I do kind of like... Oh, these ones. Perfect. I was thinking that surely there's something that matches. We kind of have a little space area right here, maybe that height. I'll just get Mr. Mannequin over here. Mr. Mannequin, look at these as well, please. Thank you. Is that too high? I mean, we would want other people than just Mr. Mannequin to be able to watch these, right? We have that one there. We can have one over here. This one, we'll put it in a black frame so it matches everything else. We'll put it at the same height. So that height. But I do kind of want to alt place it. Okay, fine. This seems like the middle. I think we'll do that over here as well. Can I get this with a black frame as well? No, I can only have the dark gray. Great. There. Maybe it's kind of funny over here. Do we have a nice display for it? Probably not. Do we only have this as a display? Ooh. Oh, maybe this. This look display-like, I think. Yeah. This could definitely work. Put that right there. Put this on top. Actually put it this way. There. Nice. Now we definitely want people to be able to sit and watch this one. And then I guess we also want people to be able to sit and watch these ones. So this would be the middle here. I guess that's fine. I don't mind that. That looks good. I do think it works all right with the wallpaper. And then we have this guy play some music. We have some violins. We also have cats playing bongos. And then there isn't there like a piano? Oh, this looks music-like as well. I swear there is a piano. I have just seen a piano. Oh, there's this guy as well. This guy. Wow, this is really just an entire collection. This looks music-like as well. And this actually looks very artsy. That is nice. There is a piano. Where is the piano? Okay, there are not that many paintings. Oh, there it is. Oh god. I actually did not consider that we did not have enough space. I really didn't think that was going to be a problem. Okay, so what do we want to do? I mean, the small ones can definitely go on the side, and then we have paintings like this. I could go here. Mr. Mannequin, look at the painting. How do you like the height, Mr. Mannequin? Quite all right. I want them swapped though. Don't ask me why, but I want them swapped. Yeah, we actually don't have space for all of it. So now we just want to get a decent height. We also want things placed in the middle, so I will just do that. And then for this room, I guess things like this actually wouldn't be too weird. And maybe we could have the keys underneath this if we do raise it up, even though I've only just lowered it. That could be pretty nice, I think. Then we do have to move this though. Don't like that they're that close together, but maybe it's fine. Obviously don't want the llama in here, but that's a minor detail. Get me some small poof couches. What are these called? Ottoman. I did know that. That is a funny name. It makes me go haha. Place one there and place one there. Alrighty. Now that means we now just have more space in here for music paintings, essentially. Could do something like that. Mr. Mannequin. Oh, you're already here, Mr. Mannequin. That's good. Did I copy him? Mr. Mannequin. How did you arrive back in here? Didn't I just have him in the other room? I don't know. Is that a good height for you? I suppose it is. So cat goes there. Well, maybe on this side, cat goes a little bit lower or a little bit over here. Mr. Mannequin. What height would you like this at? There? Okay. You can have it there. There we go. Mr. Mannequin. Come have a look. A little too high, I think. There. Probably a bit better. And there. I do think for this room, I mean, it's kind of random, but I love the idea of this llama. So let's add that. Do we have any kind of surface that's just like solid? I don't expect it, but sometimes you get lucky, you know? Sometimes. Oh, a coffee table would have been a nice height, I guess. What about this one? Let's move these out of the way. Get rid of everything so we can see things. Is what if we scale this up a little bit? With the risk of Sims just randomly placing items on this and then raise this right there. Is it? It's not even flowing. I kind of love that. Just a giant llama for no apparent reason. I think we want 3. Is it called a womanakin? A womanakin. I'm thinking like, well, I'm actually thinking like that. Not that that really matters, but I think that looks like it could be one cohesive art piece. I do like that the Roman thingies were taller, but I think this just matches the art a bit better. So that could be over there. That's still like nice spacing. So I'm actually going to also turn this into an art space. And what I'm thinking is that we did have with one of the newer updates, not new, but not too long ago, we got more of, I hope it's correct if I say like African, yeah, inspired by life in West Africa. So I was thinking we could do something like that because we do have a few pieces that I think would work for it, like this one in some different variations. I do think this could look nice in here. And I actually think that this mural would be really awesome as as well. So if we add that like there, that takes up, you know, a lot of space. So let's continue with that idea, and then I'll just paint the colors afterwards. How many different ones does this come in? These could be really nice. So let's maybe have the people here. Oh, is this too tight a spot? It might be. I just also think it's pretty darn cool. I could see that. I will scooch them around a little bit, and then we could have this one, and we could definitely have two of these because I'm pretty sure that this comes in some other nice colors. That could work. And then we did also get a few items, right? Like there was the woven, do I say that correctly? There was the woven basket. I also think that this came with that update. I do think that these could work as well. Oh, there's this big globe. I might want that in the other room. I'll just put it there for now so that I don't forget. Oh, there's freezer bunnies as well. This is funny. The funny little item. Sorry, getting distracted. I want to have the woven basket, which I know is a thing, even though I cannot find it. Is it a sculpture? What? Why did they put it in sculpture? Sure. Sometimes I don't understand how they categorize things, but I guess that will forever be a mystery. This comes in multiple colors. Ooh, it actually does. Oh, it comes in a lot of different colors. Okay, so maybe these could be a like centerpiece with some different variations. I don't think I've actually ever checked how many variations this one comes in. What about this one? Yeah. Okay. That looks really nice. So how do we go about displaying them? I guess we kind of want a similar thing. And again, maybe this one is just the best for it. So we kind of have a display area, and we probably want it right around here, right? I was kind of hoping that all 5 would just go on these tables. That was the plan. And I will stick to that plan. It's just a little bit annoying. Oh, maybe... Is it easier for me if I do this? It actually probably is. I don't think that anyone is really going to see that. So this might be the way that I cheat. I think that looks pretty good. Is that just me? Am I just praising myself for no apparent reason? What if this went here? Yeah, I think that works. I want the pillows on display, but there's really no good spot. This is why The Sims 4 sometimes make me lose my sanity a little bit. I mean, I know it's on me. Like, this is just my OCD, I guess. But, and then this one. Okay. And these ones right there. Whew. Hopefully these go on nicely and they all fit. Oh, that is just perfect. I know this might seem like a little bit of a weird display, but I mean, it's not the worst. I think it works. I think we need to work with what we have, and I really think that this does that. And oh, at least it's also aligned with the, yes. Okay, it's actually aligned with both arches. That worked out nicely. And then of course, I'll just alt place it, scooch it in right there. Okay, I am surprisingly happy with that. Let's choose a color, but I don't know if it kind of swallows up the paintings. And that is a thing, because I think I did it off camera, but this one I ended up doing dark blue. These look the same color. They are not. The lighting is just a little weird right now. But look, if I do it red, like it changes how, even in a freaking game, it changes how you perceive art. And I think that this swallows up the paintings a bit more. Like the bottom of this is red, so when I do this, that just kind of disappear a little bit. These are kind of small and more in like reddish tones. So that is something to think about. I don't know why I wanted to, like, I had to explain that to you, but there you go. Fun fact. See, I think it creates more of a contrast that I might like, doesn't it? I mean, blue just kind of, I honestly would argue that blue is like a neutral color. I think maybe the blue, I think it does work better than the dark red. I just like the dark red for the room, but maybe not for the paintings. What's the best way to go? Oh my god. It just hit me that I've done the same mistake as I've done multiple other times, and I have no toilets. How do I do this every single time? Ugh. I hate that so much. Like, where do I place a toilet? So since we don't have a get together, we can only really do something that looks cafe-like. That's really our only option, like that. And then let's also get probably these ones. Now, can we fit? Can they pass through there? I mean, technically it doesn't matter. I guess realistically, you'd want a little bit more space right there. Also, this has to be the warmest spot to be working in. We would want to add a fancy coffee machine, probably, maybe also tea, a little tea maker. Do we technically have enough space for that? Because we want coffee. There's also, oh, there is hot cocoa, and then fancy coffee machine. So your sim could technically use these items. I don't think any other sim would, like any other sims visiting, but your sim could. It really does bother me. Can we cheat? Would this work? I'm very uncertain whether or not this would work, but I'm kind of hoping that it would, because it really weirds me out that they are like so far apart. So if I place that there, wait, where would it normally go? It would go right on the edge. Okay. So if this goes here, they would be able to use it, right? Maybe a little, maybe scooch it a little bit. I hope your sim will be able to use it. I guess I have to test it. I just think this is going to look like so much better that they are slightly closer together, and then maybe a slightly darker color as well, even though we wouldn't want it too dark because then you'll burn your hands since you're working in a greenhouse. I was thinking honestly that these mugs could be like, hey, come buy these mugs. Like souvenirs was the word that I was looking for. So you could get it as a souvenir. And then we could have some other small souvenirs. Honestly, these again, this color. And then hope that no one splashes any water from the sink. Let's maybe start with the pillows. This one. Do I want to sell it in multiple versions? Because I feel like sometimes what really bothers me at museum shops, it's like that one thing that I really want, they don't have. Like that one painting I want as a postcard, it's like, nah. So maybe it could be fun that we primarily sell this one, and then maybe I think we'll go with these two. Those are just the only one they sell, and they only sell them in the small version. We just want rows of small pillows. Alrighty. Oh, love that. Lamp in the way. Great. It's really working well for us. Tiny pick goes there, and the table goes around there. So we do want another row of tiny picks. Great. Then what else? Can we have tiny llama? Oh, but tiny llama doesn't go on the table. You can of course force it. I kind of like the idea of tiny llama. I actually love the idea of tiny llama. Wait, could tiny llama have different colors? Oh my god. Oh, we could have done a full exhibition on tiny llamas. I think in the shop you can buy different colors, because maybe the artists have done multiple, but this museum only has one of them. But then you can just buy some of the other versions. That totally makes sense, at least in my head. So thank you. I think that's a cute little museum shop area, right? That's cute. Love that. Now we want seating areas, dining tables and some dining chairs with the idea that it's a cafe. I know no one's going to use it, and that's a little bit sad, but we like to just imagine. We're doing it for the imagination. I feel like Sims 4 is like 50% fun, 50% imagination. That made sense in my head. Do we want like rustic? Or do we want more modern? Probably wouldn't have a black table in a greenhouse. That would be very, very warm. I guess we kind of do want it to look outdoorsy, right? Oh, we could go full. Don't we have... Oh my god. It's just solid, you know? So we'll have a table there. We'll get a little table there. Ooh, no. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna place them down here. Okay. I think I have it. This is the kind of thing that's like so annoying if you're waiting in line and then people are like, oh, let me just get the last little bit of magnet. But I've definitely experienced this where it's just, you know, it's just bad design. So maybe this is just bad design. I mean, after all, it's a cafe in like the warmest greenhouse. So this is already pretty bad design. I just think it looks more like we're selling magnets if they're down here, whereas on the other wall it more so feels like I tried to make a really bad piece of art. I like that idea. I think that's cute. That's rough. I don't know why we have a lighting issue. Also, it seems like we didn't have it until I placed those. That's so bizarre. Okay, but then I kind of don't want any plants there. Can any of the other plants go there? What? That is so... weird. No, this darkens it as well. What about this one? This doesn't change it. Okay, well then maybe I just want these. That's so weird. Why does it get darker? Because I placed this plant. Okay, it's fine. It's whatever. So let's get some of these. Also here, gooch everything a little bit. The people are like in between all of the plants. It's very nice. Gosh, is that it? Is that what we could do? Guess we could have one down here, right? And then we'll scooch this one, and then we'll delete all of these plants that we actually really don't need. See, we can have small cacti. That's actually really cute. Adorable. Oh my god. It's a little scary if you're like seated here, but it's not my problem. And how tall are they hanging? There's a glass roof. We can't hang anything. I am an idiot. The idea was nice though. It was a good idea, Anna. It was good effort. It looks a little fake, but I honestly think think I'm okay with it. How do we feel about things only being a little bit in the wall? Are we okay with that? What if we do like 0.8? Oh, that's cute. Shrubbity, shribbity. I would like little small plant, please. Also flip it around over here, make it one bit smaller, raise it a little bit. That works. For me, at least. We want flamingo in here. Is that funny? I think it's kind of funny. Place that there. How would it look if we had these? That actually doesn't look that bad. I definitely want to add that then. Yes. I ended up doing the last bit off camera. I do think that the video was getting too long. And also, I don't really think it would have been that interesting to see me place just a lot of plants. So the build is now done and I want to show you the final result. So this is out front. I, as per usual, added a few things that just make it blend more in with being like a public lot. We also have here on the side, specifically if you also have the base game library, we have this gorgeous walkway with trees on both sides. Then here in the back, I did just very simple. I copied these ones, these small planters, so that they match. Added them in here as well with some benches. And also over here, very similar, just added in some planter boxes, a little bench, and this is also where we have a second entrance. So for the entrance, you did see me create it, but I absolutely love our little collection here of knights. I think that works so well. And I do also love the double door, even though it does create a little bit of an issue inside. And then coming in, we have the hallway. I decided to just add a few items that could also maybe seem like some artwork. I mean, art is a lot of things, so I think that could work. We also have the sign down for the toilets. We even have some security cameras. We have those in every single room. And then of course we have the area where you buy your tickets. So downstairs, I did something just very simple. There are toilets in all of these. There's one with a shower just for gameplay because that sometimes is nice to have. And I also imagine this was where you would have your wardrobe. So we have our first hallway in here with all of the sculptures. I also ended up adding the easels to this hallway. It was just kind of what made the most sense in the end. This hallway is also the one with the cutouts that I end up absolutely loving, even though I don't think your sim will be able to actually watch these. And on the other side, we have the ones that are covered by small windows. Then next is a room. Even though I love art, I'm very bad with like art period, so I don't really know what you would actually call this style. Maybe it's like Renaissance and realism, I think somewhere along those lines, but I do think that everything kind of matches together and works well for the room. Then we have our next long hallway with all of the music paintings. We have the llama right in the center. Absolutely love that. And then we're slowly moving into a smaller room where I think you would either have like photo art or highly realistic paintings of space. Everything is space themed. Some of these are debug items and I think you would get them from the telescope, I would like to say. Also maybe didn't show very clearly what was on the other wall. We do have a slight bit of more of like a modern section. And then we have the rest of our musical paintings. Then we move on into our little greenhouse cafe that also houses a small museum shop. I absolutely loved how this turned out as well. I just think it's so nice. And we have something very similar here in Denmark, in Copenhagen. It's called T.O.O.L, and I love to visit just for the garden area where you can sit and have a piece of cake and a little coffee. Very expensive, but very worth it. Then here at the end, it's more like an African area. So we have a mural where I think the artists themselves came in and did the mural right on the wall. We have all of these paintings that are inspired by African colors and culture. We also have a few carpets, rugs over here. I think that works as well. And then we just have the little extra hallway where you can exit out to the garden or outside. And outside we just have a slight bit more of a sculpture garden, and I do really like this as well. But yeah, this was when I stopped filming because I was just placing like plants at the end, but this is how it turned out. And I have to say that I honestly think I outdid myself because I really didn't know when I started this how I was going to pull off a base game museum, because I felt like we didn't really have that many items. And in the end, I think out of the 4 that I've done, we have the nightclub, which was definitely really difficult because we really don't have like any items for a nightclub. Then we have the gym, which was all right, but still lacking. Then we have the library, which I do think is a little bit better just because we can place so many bookshelves. And then we have the museum, and I don't know how it ended up looking this good because I honestly do think it looks really good for a base game museum. So very pleased with the result. And with that, I wish you a lovely day. I hope to see you next time, and bye!